You're watching TVC News Hour. And now we return to our story on the collapsed building which occurred at Mercy Street in Lagos Island. Our correspondent Joke Lijadu is here with us to talk more about this. Joke, you saw much of the rescue operation. Tell us how soon enough the emergency services arrived at the scene.
Well, from what I gathered, emergency services got there a bit late. The collapse itself occurred around 2, I think about 1:51, and the people alleged that emergency officials got there about 6 p.m. While I was speaking with Lasema, the GM of Lasema, he explained that they were at a site in Shomolu trying to rescue some flood issues, and then immediately they got the call. They had to, finish up what they were doing and deploy their equipment which they were using there to the scene of the accidents. Of the collapse, and of course he explained that because of the nature of those streets in Lagos Island, they are very narrow. It was difficult for them to get into the area, and that was what was responsible for the delay.
The report we got that this is just due to the downpour on over the weekend, Monday, and all that. But the question is the house on a sway line or on a drainage path? Well,
first, I don't think it was due to the downpour, because the house, from what I see, wasn't on the floodplain. It wasn't on the sewage line. People that I spoke to attributed the collapse to the installment of a mast on the 4-story building that was obviously already distressed. So I think about 2 weeks ago, they said the landlord brought in an internet company that installed a mast on the building. I'm guessing that that's kind of added to the distress of the building, and then it gave way.
Okay, that's sad. Now, because of the nature of collapsed buildings in that area, neighboring buildings sometimes are affected. Did you notice any such thing?
Well, from the feel I got from residents around, and of course people that I spoke to, emergency officials that were there, it was obvious that buildings around already had their own issues. They were like disasters waiting to happen, you understand, and a couple of people talked about that, and I don't think it was just a function of that building collapsing. Everybody was asking for integrity tests for most of the buildings in Lagos Island. If you know Lagos Island very well, you would know that most of the buildings, they are old, and they have loads and loads of people staying in them. So people there they seem to be ready, because like 2 years ago, not too far from where this building collapsed, something like this happened, like less than 2 years ago, and then they are seeing it happen again. I think they've come to the place in their mind where they are thinking, you know what, I think these structures should be tested, and we should know whether it's good to stay in.
And so what's the government's response if you're saying a building collapsed in that particular area 2 years back, and another 2 years another one happened, perhaps in another 2 years maybe another one will happen? What is the government saying in terms of maybe relocating, or apart from the integrity test?
Well, for this particular collapse, we've not heard from the government yet. We've not heard from officials of LAPSCA and the ministry responsible for building in Lagos. We've not heard anything from them. So I won't be speaking for them, because I really do not know what will be going through their minds.
8 people died, 15 have been rescued. From what you gathered from the emergency officials, is there a possibility that some people may still be trapped beneath the rubble? Well,
they tried to reach, to the sewage side, because from what they gathered, the building had a canteen under, you understand, and then they wanted to be sure that they didn't just have stray people who walked in just to get something to eat, who were trapped there. But as at the time we left, emergency services there had been concluded, and they had not found any more persons.
Very sad incident there, where a collapsed building on the Lagos Island, Mercy Street to be precise, where 8 people died. 15 were thankfully rescued. Many thanks, Joke Lijadu, our correspondent, who saw much of the rescue operation. You're watching TVC News Hour.